Good morning.
I've been looking in the shadows where the mystery was born. I've been kneeling with the statues in the sun that keeps me warm. I've been following the footsteps of the ones who come and gone. I've been flying with the eagles to the center of the storm. Late in the afternoon, twilight fills the sky, stretching out the evening's awning. My heart explodes with joy, I can't hear the baby cry. And I have seen the light of the new day dawning. As below, so above. Warrior of love. Take the shackles from my feet and the madness from my mind. Let the circle be complete, like this moment out of time. Make the earth and heaven speak to me. I have been deaf, dumb, and blind. Now everything I was gone to see, with every dream my heart can find. As I turn within to the emptiness erased, I'm lifted up by the hands that adore me. The whole wide universe is filled with peace and grace. The door of life is opening before me. Give me the strength to trust, like a warrior of love. On a silent hill where life and death collide, between the past and the present moment's glory. For every questing heart that packeth from inside, and all the rest of it, just your story, your story. You are alright, much more than enough. You're a warrior of love, warrior of love, warrior of love.
Okay, there we are. Good morning, I'm Mette, and good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. Welcome to Morning Poems and Prayers for Wednesday, the 11th of June, 2025. It is the day of the full moon, the strawberry moon, they call it. Evidently not because the moon's going to be pink, but because of it's harvest time and strawberry season in many places. So you're very welcome. And we are going to dive straight into the deep end of the of the ocean here. Thank you for being here. Go ahead and close your eyes, turn within. We'll take 3 deep cleansing breaths together, holding each breath, straightening the spine, looking up through the third eye. Here's the first deep breath. Go ahead. Let go. Oh, nice sigh on the exhalation. Second deep breath, deeper, longer. Hold. Hold. Let go. And third and final deep cleansing breath. Here we go. Let go. There we go. Thank you. So, prayer time. This is what we say in the Course in Miracles every morning. This came from our teacher and friend Maureen Muldoon. Prayer of the Miracle Worker. Today we begin by tucking our chins and bowing our heads and knowing that God is all that there is and that we are one with it. We surrender all that we are to all God will have us be. We bow our heads, our hearts, our desires and agendas to God's will. We trust that God knows us and loves us as we make our way home to peace. We trust that we will see miracles where we once saw dead ends. We commit to remembering that we're immersed in God's holy ecstasy and audaciousness, where all things are possible, plentiful, and perfect. We give thanks for another day of miracles and miraculous encounters, and may we always remember that this grace is offered to us not just for our own peace and joy, but so that we may be a fearless extension of God's love. And together, so we say, and so it is. Take a deep breath. Let's see now. Get back to the top. O cosmic birther of all radiance and vibration, the Lord's Prayer translated straight from the Aramaic. O cosmic birther of all radiance and vibration, soften the ground of our being and carve out a space within us where your presence can abide. Fill us with your creativity so that we may be empowered to bear the fruit of your mission. Let each of our actions bear fruit in accordance with our desire. Endow us with the wisdom to produce and share what each being needs to grow and flourish. Untie the tangled threads of destiny that bind us as we release others from the entanglement of past mistakes. Do not let us be seduced by that which would divert us from our true purpose, but illuminate the opportunities of the present moment. For you are the ground and the fruitful vision, the birth, power, and fulfillment as all is gathered and made whole once again. Take a deep breath. Course in Miracles. This is the only thing that you need to do for vision, happiness, release from pain, and the complete escape from sin, all to be given you. Say only this, but mean it with no reservations, for here the power of salvation lies. I am responsible for what I see. I choose the feelings I experience, and I decide upon the goal I would achieve. And everything that seems to happen to me, I ask for and receive as I have asked. Deceive yourself no longer that you are helpless in the face of what is done to you. Acknowledge but that you have been mistaken, and all effects of your mistakes will disappear. And further, in all these diversionary tactics, however, the one question that is never asked by those who pursue them is, what for? This is the question that you must learn to ask in connection with everything. What is the purpose? Whatever it is, it will direct your efforts automatically. When you make a decision of purpose, then you have made a decision about your future effort, a decision that will remain in effect unless you change your mind. Take a breath into that. Prayer to see my self-worth. My beloved God, help me to value my self-worth as an individual, to know that I am perfect and unique because I am your child. My God, help me to recognize my own individual personality. Please help me to believe in myself, to be that person you say I am, and most of all, help me to love myself because I am your child. With your love, my God, I know I can do this. Thank you for helping me. Amen. Patricia Coda Robles. I am my I am presence, and I am one with my Father, Mother, God. I am also one with the higher, I am my I am presence, and I am one with my Father, Mother, God. I am also one with the I am presence of every man, woman, and child on earth. The entire company of heaven, the angelic kingdom, the elemental kingdom, and Gaia, Mother Earth. I give heartfelt and sincere thanks for the sacred gift of my life and of life itself. I ask my I am presence to consecrate every thought, word, feeling, and action which I express throughout this day with more love and more light for myself and my world. We give thanks, we let it be. It is so, so it is. And together we say, Amen. One more. This is Lorna Burns' prayer for healing. Pour out thy healing angels, thy heavenly host upon me, and upon those that I love. Let me feel the beam of thy healing angels upon me, the light of your healing hands. I will let thy healing begin, whatever way God grants it. We give thanks, we let it be, and so it is. Take a deep breath. Okay, I want to send that out to Brother DVL, who's still recovering from his stroke. God bless you, D. And he's back home and coming back to himself, and Mette and anyone else that wants a blast of love, of healing, of peace of mind. We're all on the journey together. Today's angel card is healing, lo and behold, and I actually have Patricia's healing meditation here. It's 20 minutes. Let's dive into that. Go ahead and close your eyes.
This healing activity is stated in the first person, so that every person's I am presence will deliberately participate on a conscious level. I am sitting comfortably in my chair, with my spine as straight as possible, and my arms and legs uncrossed, making me an open conduit for this activity of healing light. My I am presence, my silent watcher, and my fifth dimensional body elemental now take command of my earthly bodies and this powerful healing process. I am my I am presence, and I am one with my Father, Mother, God. I am also one with the I Am presence of every man, woman, and child on earth. The healing I am invoking for myself this day, I am also invoking on behalf of humanity, the elemental kingdom, and Mother Earth. This activity of healing is being God victoriously accomplished through each person's I Am presence in perfect alignment with each one's divine plan and the highest good for all concerned. With every in-breath I take, my Father, Mother God, now breathe into my breath from the very core of creation, brand new solar frequencies of the fifth dimensional emerald green and violet flame of healing through the power of infinite transmutation. With my every out-breath, this sacred emerald green and violet flame flows through the mighty transformer formed by the unified heart flames of the light workers gathered here into the center of the earth, where it is secured in the newly ascended solar heart flame of Mother Earth. Once Mother Earth assimilates this sacred fire of solar healing, she joyously breathes it out through her fifth dimensional crystalline grid system of comprehensive divine love. This exquisite healing light blesses all life evolving on this sweet earth. In deep gratitude, every particle and wave of life on this planet begins to experience with wonder and awe this brand new solar frequency of healing. I continue focusing on my holy breath, and I clearly see that with every breath, I am magnetizing into my heart flame and projecting into the heart flame of Mother Earth higher and higher solar frequencies of the emerald green and violet flame of healing through the power of infinite transmutation. Every person's I Am presence is now standing in readiness to participate in the maximum healing that cosmic law will allow within our earthly bodies. Under the guidance of my I Am presence, my silent watcher, and my fifth dimensional body elemental, the emerald green and violet flame of healing begins to permeate every facet of my earthly bodies. This sacred fire penetrates into the core of purity in every electron of my physical, etheric, mental, and emotional bodies in preparation for this life-transforming divine healing that will now take place in these vehicles. With deep concentration, I visualize the emerald green and violet flame of solar healing as my I Am presence, my silent watcher, and my fifth dimensional body elemental now command this sacred fire to heal, cleanse, rejuvenate, restore, renew, resurrect, and transfigure the various systems in my body temple. My healing process begins as the emerald green and violet flame expands through my physical brain structure, my spinal cord, my nervous system, my chakra system, and my corresponding meridians and acupuncture points. His healing flame instantaneously removes every trace of disease or imbalance of any kind in these systems. As this occurs, my conscious awareness is rising to a higher level. This is increasing my ability to think, to comprehend, and to use my creative faculties of thought to co-create the infinite perfection of the fifth dimensional crystalline solar new earth. Next, the healing flame flows into my eyes, instantaneously removing every trace of disease or imbalance of any kind. This healing flame is restoring my eyes to perfect sight, allowing me to see with new eyes and to recognize truth and perfection in all life. The emerald green and violet flame now flows into my ears, instantaneously removing every trace of disease or imbalance of any kind. My ears are restored to perfect hearing, allowing me to hear with new ears the intuitive inner voice of my I Am presence and the music of the spheres. His healing flame now flows into my nostrils, sinuses, respiratory system, lungs, larynx, vocal cords, trachea, bronchial tubes, and every function of my voice and breathing apparatus. Instantaneously, every trace of disease or imbalance of any kind is removed. My breathing is enhanced, and I am able to breathe the maximum frequency of God's prana and life force with every single newly balanced and elevated holy breath I take. I am now blessed with the breath of the Holy Spirit, and I am empowered to speak with the tongues of angels. Next, the emerald green and violet flame flows into my mouth, teeth, gums, tongue, esophagus, stomach, liver, gallbladder, small intestines, ileocecal valve, large intestines, appendix, colon, kidneys, bladder, and every aspect of my digestive and elimination systems. Instantaneously, every trace of disease or imbalance of any kind is removed. The healing flame is restoring all of these aspects of my digestive and elimination systems to vibrant health, thus allowing me to purify my body and to assimilate my food and beverages perfectly. Now, the healing flame flows into my spiritual brain centers, my pineal, pituitary, and hypothalamus glands, and the ganglionic centers at the base of my brain. The emerald green and violet flame now flows into the remainder of my endocrine system, my thyroid, thymus, pancreas, spleen, adrenal glands, gonads, and all of the other glands associated with this ductless system. Instantaneously, every trace of disease or imbalance of any kind is removed, and all of these aspects of my endocrine system are restored to perfect balance and function. The healing flame now flows through the various facets of my circulatory system. First, it flows through my lymph nodes and lymphatic fluid. Then, into the muscle of my heart, and through the chambers, valves, veins, arteries, and capillaries. The emerald green and violet flame now flows through my red and white blood cells and my bone marrow. Instantaneously, every trace of disease or imbalance of any kind is removed from my circulatory system. This is increasing my ability to feel and to use my creative faculties of feeling in heart-based ways that express divine love, oneness, and reverence for all life. Now, the emerald green and violet flame of healing flows into my reproductive system, my female or male organs. Instantaneously, every trace of disease or imbalance of any kind is removed. The healing flame restores every aspect of my reproductive system to its perfect function for this stage in my life. This allows me to hold the sacred space, either for myself or for anyone else who is destined to bring in the children of the new earth. This healing flame is creating a chalice of light in every mother and father, a holy grail through which these precious children will be born. The transfigured reproductive systems in every parent will enable the I Am presence of the incoming children to create perfect vehicles through which they will assist in co-creating the solar new earth. Next, the healing flame flows into my skeletal and muscular systems. My bones, muscles, joints, tendons, ligaments, cartilage, fat cells, and connective tissue. Instantaneously, every trace of disease or imbalance of any kind is removed. The emerald green and violet flame of healing restores every aspect of these systems, empowering me with strength, vitality, and eternal youth. Now, His healing flame flows through my skin, hair, nails, and every remaining facet of my physical body. Instantaneously, every trace of disease or imbalance of any kind is removed. As this healing flame purges every remaining trace of contamination or disease in my earthly bodies, my I Am presence is able to greatly accelerate my transfiguration into the immaculate concept of my fifth dimensional crystalline solar light bodies of vibrant health, eternal youth, radiant beauty, and infinite perfection. Now, with the new solar, emerald green, and violet flame of healing through the power of infinite transmutation, pulsating in every electron of my earthly bodies and the earthly bodies of all of humanity, I ask my Father, Mother, God, and the legions of light associated with this sacred fire to blaze it through the entire elemental kingdom and the physical, etheric, mental, and emotional strata of Mother Earth. I know and accept that this healing activity of the emerald green and violet flame is being God victoriously accomplished with every breath I take. The divine solar templates for the fifth dimensional crystalline solar light bodies of humanity, the elemental kingdom, and Mother Earth have now been formed and will be amplified every single day with every breath I take by my Father, Mother, God, through Mother Earth's fifth dimensional crystalline solar grid of comprehensive divine love. For this, I am eternally grateful. And so it is, beloved. I am that I am.
Okay, take a nice deep cleansing breath. Thank you, thank you. I'll post that on the page. That is Divine Healing by our dear friend and teacher, Patricia Cota Robles. So welcome once again. That was divinely guided this morning as the angel card was healing, and it popped up on my YouTube feed. So thank you for taking that journey there with me. Here's the quote I finished yesterday with from Brother Michael Abramson and his partner Honey Borden. It becomes the responsibility in aligning your thoughts and emotions to your desired outcomes and staying in your highest gratitude versus submitting or spreading any fear-based consciousness. Many of us have prepared lifetimes to get to this juncture of life, and now becomes the moment of action, the sacred turning point where remembrance meets embodiment, creating the most beautiful story ever to be told. Take a breath into that. So let me just read a few things here for us as we come down the home stretch, the backside of this hour. You're all very welcome. Great to be here with you. May the light of your soul always shine into the world as kindness. That is from our sister Mette von Maubeuge. Yeah, that's my American mispronunciation of that name. Bless us. Deva Premal has a new album, which is a lovely thing to see. A beautiful picture of her joyous self. The amazing Deva Premal and Mitten. The inevitable blossoming of the heart. So I was on the Course in Miracles group this morning, and Mia, my teacher, our teacher there, wonderful, wonderful teacher, brought up Ram Dass, which was synchronous because I had just seen yesterday an interview that I've seen before. I came across it on the YouTube there, and it was Ram Dass chatting with Terence McKenna, two of my heroes from my days in LA. God bless Los Angeles and all it's going through at the moment. And so Krishna Das, who I've also had the pleasure of meeting, I met both of those chaps, but Krishna Das tells a story here, and you might relate to it. We'll give it to you anyway. 4 or 5 months after I stopped doing coke, I was in a very freaky, discombobulated kind of place. I wasn't doing any drugs, but I was really depressed and miserable. I decided to go to India just to get away. It was the fall of 1984, and I arrived in Kanchi just as Durga Puja was beginning. For the next 9 days, there would be a sacred fire ceremony with mantras and offerings into the fire. It would go on all day, and many devotees would be gathering at the temple for the festival. When I arrived, I thought, now I can go into my room and crash for a week. I don't have to see or talk to anybody. Instead, to my horror, I heard, "Oh, Krishna Das has come. How wonderful. Come sit with us in the fire ceremony." They knew me from the old days with Maharaji, which is Neem Karoli Baba, who's passed on about a decade earlier. And of course, Neem Karoli was, Babaji was the teacher for both Ram Dass and Krishna Das and many others, many Americans who traveled to India at that time, and people from all over the world. Everyone was thrilled that I'd shown up. I wasn't so thrilled, but there was no way to refuse. They'd asked with so much love, and I didn't want to hurt them. All day long, I sat next to the devotee who'd sponsored the puja, fire offerings, putting prayers on the fire, and made offerings into the fire. It was an honor to be included. We chanted Swaha, the mantra of offering, together, but my mental mantra was more like, damn, I can't take this. Swaha, God damn it, I want to go to sleep. Swaha, my back hurts. I hadn't sat cross-legged for such a long time, and I ached all over. Smoke and ashes were everywhere. We also had to fast every day until the ceremony was over at the end of the day. I'd literally gone from the frying pan into the fire. There was a daily 2-hour break between the morning and the afternoon pujas. At the end of the morning session, everybody would come up to the front of the temple to do arati, devotional offering to Maharaji's takat, his place that he used to sit. We sang the arati hymn, bowed down, and went to take a rest. I stood to the side and watched, feeling totally closed off and disconnected. One day after the arati, everybody bowed down and went to rest except one very old lady. She bowed down and put her head on the takat, but she didn't get up. She'd gone into samadhi. When I saw this, it was like a spear through my heart. I thought, these people are living in his presence. Even now, he's real to them. It was such a shock to my system. This was 11 years after Maharaji had gone. He's real to these people. I felt like I'd been hit by a truck. I staggered over to the side of the temple and sat down. I felt even farther away from him than I had before. Siddhi Ma, who had been sitting in Maharaji's room, when she saw me through the window, she sent somebody to get me. I thought, oh, why don't they just leave me alone and let me die? I can't stand anymore, but I couldn't say no. Yeah, okay, coming. I got up and walked through the back door across the courtyard and into Maharaji's room. As I came into the door, I saw Ma sitting on the floor at the foot of his bed. Nobody else was in the room. As I crossed the threshold, I was struck by a thunderbolt right in the center of my chest. I fell to the ground like a tree that had been hit by lightning. My heart cracked open, and I felt the incredible sweetness of Maharaji's presence. I was crying uncontrollably and couldn't stop. He had come back to me. In that instant, every moment of my life, from the second that I'd heard he had died until the present moment, passed before my eyes like frames of a movie. Every second of 11 years in the blink of an eye, I saw everything that had happened to me, everything I'd thought and felt and done, all of the pain and suffering. But I saw it from a completely clear, quiet place. When I'd heard that he died, a wall had gone up around my heart, and I wouldn't let myself feel him anymore. I wouldn't let myself feel love anymore. It was a big wall that surrounded me, and it wouldn't let anything in. In the next instant, I saw that every brick in the wall had a word written on it, flashing like a neon sign. Anger, guilt, shame, greed, selfishness, fear. That was what the wall was made of, and I was stuck behind it, a prisoner. I suddenly knew, if I just look at this wall, if I pay attention to what this stuff is, it will start to go away. All I have to do is look at it and not pretend it doesn't exist, and it will start to go away. Then I saw that the wall meant nothing to Maharaji. He was in the wall, over the wall, everywhere. He had never left me for a second. I had left him. I wouldn't allow myself to feel him. I was still lying there on the floor sobbing, and Siddhi Ma was still sitting there quietly. I kept thinking, she must think I'm out of my mind. I tried to stop crying, but I couldn't. It only made it worse. Then somebody came to the window and said they were waiting for me to begin the afternoon session of the puja. I had no sense that any time had passed. I was in absolute ecstasy. It was like I was making love with the whole universe in the middle of my chest, and every breath made 1,000 times more intense. I could hardly stand up. Still sobbing, I went back to the swahas and the puja. I was totally out of my mind with bliss. Every cell was dancing. The devotee who was sitting next to me doing the ceremony kept looking over at me and finally asked, "Krishnadas, are you all right?" I couldn't stop crying. Indians aren't big huggers, but he reached over behind me and kind of patted me on the back and asked, "Has someone died?" Later in the day, another great devotee of Maharaji's named Mrs. Soni saw me walking across the courtyard crying. She also asked if I was all right. I looked at her and tried to say something, but I couldn't speak. Holding back tears, I barely managed. "Maharaji." At this, her eyes rolled up all the way back into her head. She stood in front of me shaking like a leaf for about a minute. before they rolled back down. She looked at me and said, "Exactly," and then floated off across the courtyard. I was in Fat City. I walked around the temple enjoying the ecstasy. When I noticed that the intensity came down a little bit, all I had to do was inhale deeply into my heart, and it came back up. It was so great. I thought, how compassionate is the Lord. Not only does he give the ecstasy, but he gives the method for keeping it. Oh, how sweet life is. It went on like this for days. Then one morning I woke up completely dead inside. I felt like an old building had burned down and been rained on, and then the dogs had come and pissed all over the place. He's great. I was frantically taking deep breaths, but nothing was happening. I almost killed myself trying to breathe the ecstasy back. Nothing worked. I completely flipped out and rushed down the path and climbed up to the roof of the building at the back of the temple. Kanchi is set like a jewel in a valley in the foothills of the Himalayas. There's a running river, lush green mountains, and electric blue sky. And there I was, a crazy Westerner, storming back and forth on the roof of this building, screaming at Maharaji at the top of my lungs, "If you're going to close me down, then don't open me up. Just leave me alone." On and on for an hour, just screaming at the top of my lungs. I was furious. I couldn't stand it. I wanted that bliss back. Tiwari came up to the roof to talk to me, but I screamed him back down. Finally, Siddhi Ma sent someone to get me. Siddhi Ma calling. Good, because I'm going home. I'm going to tell her. She was sitting in Tiwari's room, and I walked up to the doorway and stood there glaring. She glanced up at me and said something in Hindi. Everybody in the room giggled. In a deep, angry voice, I asked, "What did she say?" I was told that she'd observed I was like a little kid who'd been given a candy and gobbled it up in one bite and wanted another one right away. I couldn't have another one right away, but I shouldn't worry. I'd have another candy someday. It was like Maxwell's silver hammer coming down on my head. I was immediately brought back to earth. I muttered, "Oh, okay. I'm going to go lie down now, okay? Yeah, I'm just going to go back to my room, okay?" I slept for about 24 hours. When I woke up, I was back to normal. Except everything had changed. I'd been given another chance. It was as if they said, "All right, let the kid live." Bam, from that moment on, I knew that it was okay to be alive. I hadn't blown it. I would be okay. It was okay to go through my nonsense. It was the beginning of another chapter of my life. I hadn't blown it. I hadn't blown it. Grace. That's when I came back to the States and got into therapy. Take a deep breath. So, Krishna Das, my friends, his beautiful music, his devotional music that he's sung all over the world for decades. I had the honor of meeting the man in a total bit of grace and going to one of his concerts, and it was incredible. It is a transmission. So, a joy to share that with you. What an amazing thing. There's a beautiful new poem here I read yesterday from Alexandra Wenman, which I'm looking for. Here it is. We'll go very nicely after all that. We're all going through our stuff, my friends, yeah? There's no doubt. We're in the spin cycle of this lifetime. Alexandra Wenman. The new poem is titled Folly. I went to the depths of my drama and paddled in the shallows of shame to find my lost self who dishonored the one who remembered my name. I went to the womb of belonging to retrieve the unhealed self inside. I faced all my fear and my longing, the divine's to become the divine's holy bride. I went to that place to seek shelter, but exposed, had to face all my pain. As the mystery gave way to the water, I was baptized in her sacred rain. As the chalice filled up, overflowing, my emotion burst forth like a dam. On the river of Styx, I was rowing, without any safe harbor or land. On my own, I held fast to my knowing. In the dark, I remembered my quest. I put down my oars and stopped rowing, and turned to the heart in my chest. And the ocean lit up with remembrance, and the river gave way to its banks. I lay down, exalted and breathless. To myself, I now owed all my thanks. And nothing beyond me could measure the greatness I found deep within. And it was with the greatest of pleasure I recalled we are born without sin. So I stood and set forth to begin. Take a deep breath. Well, I think that'll do for this morning. That feels just about right. Of course, tonight is the full moon, the strawberry full moon, and my teacher, Addie Lamborn, has her free groups, which everyone's invited to. You need the Zoom link for that. If you're interested, let me know. It's at 7 p.m. Ireland, UK time. Sohelia SGH. Yeah, on June 11th at 12:43 a.m. Pacific time, Pacific Central Time, Pacific Standard Time, the Sagittarius full moon rises, an ancient mirror reflecting not just the sun's light, but the hidden truths within your soul. Full moons reveal what's been buried, illuminating truths that can feel wild or even mad. Perfect Krishna Das story. But this light is here for your evolution, not as punishment, but as initiation. You are made of water. Just as the moon pulls the ocean tides, it pulls at your inner tides. Allow yourself to feel, to rise, to open to something greater than you've ever imagined. Opposite the sun in Curious Gemini, this full moon invites you to explore duality, embrace paradox, and rewrite your story with creativity and wonder. Sagittarius fuels the quest for deeper meaning, burning away dogma in search of soulful truth. The full moon is near the great attractor, a powerful cosmic force pulling us toward unseen depths and greater awakening. It calls you to trust the magnetic pull of your own inner wisdom. The moon reflects the sun's light and holds a hidden aspect with Venus in grounded Taurus, urging you to trust what you feel because your soul lives in your body. Feel deeply, receive fully, let go of old blocks and walk your path in service to spirit, not perfection. Ask yourself, what beliefs are keeping me small? Can I trust the mystery instead of needing all the answers? This is your moment to soften, to let the tides rise, to release the old. You are ready. Sohelia SGH, Deep Diver Q. Take a deep breath, my friends. Laura Aversano, let me carry you in your weariness. The world angers against an emptiness, is still, yet has to understand. The world angers against an emptiness it still has yet to understand. Let me carry you in your weariness. The world angers against an emptiness it still has yet to understand. Okay. One more. Helen Quayle. In a world in upheaval, our nervous systems are under intense challenge. Our emotional bodies are bombarded. Our mental attention is being sought and manipulated by many forces. How do we find ourselves? Who are we in relation to the self? Who and what are we in relation to and with the collective consciousness? How do we find grounds of resilience in ourself and then with each other? This Sunday, Helen's calling you to an event for that purpose. Bless you, Helen. Thank you. All right, my friends. Yeah. Susan Manano. Galactic light frequency is intensified with the full moon. Breathe. Invoke your ascension and quantify your loving vibration. Ask, seek, knock, my friends. Yeah? All right. I'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you for being here, Declan. Great to see you. Anna, wonderful to have you. And Mette, everyone, thanks. If you value what I do and you're in a position to do so, please make a donation to the PayPal link. And you can also ask to have a one-to-one session with me and my guides. Have a wonderful Wednesday. It is the full moon, my friends. Shine your light, share your love. For this we came. Peace and blessings. Namaste. Peace.